discretion is advised. A strong breeze moves through the house. Neither of them speaks for half a minute. The rabbit man grunts and then places a hand to its head, as if it were in pain. Dr. Jappers places his hand against the teapot. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-4000. SCP-4000, also known as Taboo, is a forest world with numerous anomalous creatures. When mentioning anything about SCP-4000, any person, place, or thing inside it, one may not use names or titles to describe them. Instead, one may only use a unique, drawn-out description. For example, the woods where you need to speak carefully, or the glen of stolen names. At least one exploration of SCP-4000 needs to take place per year. To enter 4000, subjects need to perform a certain ritual. And after completing said ritual, subjects emerge from the opening of a dilapidated brick well fixed into the forest floor. The only way to reliably traverse the unusual terrain is by walking down a single dirt path. The sole safe road may only be traversed in a single direction, and any attempt by subjects to turn back and return the way they came will result in loss of contact. The only way for a subject to safely exit the woods is by walking its entire length and returning to the place where they began, which happens to be all the way at the opposite end. The anomalous creatures that live in 4000 often undergo changes in physical structure when unobserved, which has made it difficult for researchers to determine the scope of the entities that inhabit the planet. Some are often confused with newer iterations of those previously documented. These creatures claim they have no control over these changes and frequently express dissatisfaction when they occur. Some of the creatures are hostile, but others are trustworthy. If someone uses a consistent name or title for SCP-4000 or any singular person, place, or thing inside it, weird things happen. Typically, one might experience hallucinations or appearances of 4000 creatures in their matter in the real world. There are strict rules that subjects must follow when enter 4000. Among them are a few hand-picked rules that all subjects who enter should always remember. Don't call anything, including yourself, by a consistent name or answer to a consistent name. Politely decline non-physical gifts or attempts to initiate a trade. You may accept food offered to you, but do not consume it yourself. If a creature appears to require your assistance, consider its appearance before choosing to help. If the entity appears threatening, do whatever is necessary to aid it. If the entity appears attractive or harmless, do not approach. The following is the conversation between Dr. Eugene Jappers and a SCP-4000 creature known as the Rabbit Man. This conversation was transcribed over the course of several years. In 2005, the first expedition into the forest, Dr. Eugene Jappers had met the gentleman with the leporine visage. Good morning, strange traveler. Good morning. It's nice to see a new face around these parts. How is your name? I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't tell you that. I'm merely asking how your name is. My name has smelt of raspberries lately, I think, or snapdragons perhaps. It's so hard to tell these days, but one tries. My apologies. I'm afraid my name has tasted rather tart as of late. No, I'm the one who should apologize. I shouldn't have pried. It's quite all right. It has been lovely to meet you, but I must be on my way. Must you, though? My home is close by, and I was hoping to invite you in for tea. I'm terribly sorry, but unfortunately, I cannot stop at this moment. Perhaps another day. Very well. Until next time, stranger whose name tastes rather tart. 3 years later, Dr. Jappers met with Rabbit Man again during his fourth expedition. Dr. Jappers crests a hill and discovers his hare-like acquaintance tending to a patch of cabbages. Good afternoon, stranger. Except, pardon me, we've met before, haven't we? Good afternoon. I believe so, yes. 3 years ago, if memory serves. I remember now. You ran off in quite a hurry. You are not from here. What woods are you from? I do not come from any woods. Nonsense. Certainly, you have trees where you're from, do you not? We do have trees, but they're very sparse. Most of the land is covered in homes and businesses. Then they are inferior woods, but woods nonetheless. Tell me, how did you get here? I see you have an inquiring mind. I would like to ask you a question, if that's all right. Pardon my lack of manners. I consider myself something of a scholar, you see, and I get a bit excited when I have a chance to learn of forests outside my own. By all means, pose your question. When we last met, you said it had become difficult to describe your name. Do you have any theories for why that may be? I can only assume it's because of how long we've been apart. My name and I, that is. It was a good name, a proud name. I'm fairly sure of that. But by this point, however, it's probably decayed from its former grandeur, if it even still exists. Now, fellow scholar, you must answer my previous question. I came through the old well at the end of the footpath. I am presently perambulating. Oh my, it's been quite some time. I'll be frank, I thought all the old allies had died out. Did your grandfather, or some such relation, have a lover out there? My deepest apologies. I'm afraid I cannot answer that question. I understand. I'd invite you to my cottage for tea, but I suppose that's not possible for you, is it? Take this and be on your way. Thank you very much. Dr. Jappers later used the cabbage leaf to feed a creature resembling a field mouse, which in turn aided him on his travels. In 2013, Dr. Jappers was sent in again for the 9th time in hopes to conduct a more thorough interview with the Rabbit Man. Additionally, Dr. Jappers was granted special permission to make false statements for the sake of facilitating conversation. During his first encounter, the fluffy one was quite susceptible to deception, and Dr. Jappers wanted to exploit this weakness. This time, traveling along the way of weary adventure, Dr. Jappers encounters a small white cottage with a thatched roof. A small opening in the shape of a rabbit's head is cut into the front door. Dr. Jappers approaches it and knocks. Hello? Is anyone home? Yes, 1 minute. Exactly 1 minute passed. The door opened. Ah, we meet again. Please, come in, come in. You have a lovely home. I suppose it was just meant to be temporary, or at least until things cooled down on the other side. But, well, you know. I'm afraid I don't know. Would you like some help? No. You just have yourself a seat at the table over there while I get the tea ready for us. You are most kind. Tell me, could you explain what you meant by cooled down? Your relations didn't tell you the full story, I suppose, about the turmoil that drove us here. Turmoil? Was there a war? My grandparents told me there were wars, but I never knew of one with you and your kind. It doesn't surprise me. There are very few, even in these woods, who still remember. Memory is the burden of the old, I suppose. But yes, when I was a young lad, in a form quite different from the one I possess now, I lived on the other end of the well. It's where I was born. In fact, it's where I grew up. And if I dare to dream, where I will someday return. Why don't you, then? I can't. Not unless I could know for certain that I'd be welcomed back. I'm sure you don't know this, since they keep themselves hidden, but there are those who would destroy me at their first chance. My apologies. These are dark memories. I'm sure you don't want to hear about them. No, please go on. These things are of interest to me. I am a fellow scholar, remember? As you wish, fellow scholar. I shall talk until the tea is cold. Much as it grieves me to say it, we were betrayed. We had fought side by side, in the war against that factory. We had done nothing but help them. And what did they do? They destroyed us. They took so many of our lives and all of our names. Some of us fled here when the war was just beginning, but not many. Still, though, I don't hate them. I'm glad for that. I'd imagine so. There are some old fogies around these parts who bear a grudge against the whole species. But I know you're not all bad. There were many who sheltered us and fought for us. There were even some who died for us. Some came to live here amongst us, rest their souls. I, myself, courted a human once upon a time. He came to visit a time or two, but I never saw him after that. I still wonder now and again if he fell at the hand of an unkind neighbor, or if he merely stopped caring to see me. But it's no matter now. I apologize for prattling on about old flames. Certainly, such things are of no interest to you, fellow scholar. On the contrary, I'd like to hear more of these stories. The life of you and your people is of great interest to me. A strong breeze moves through the house. Neither of them speaks for half a minute. The rabbit man grunts and places a hand to its head, as if in pain. Dr. Jappers places his hand against the teapot. It appears the tea has gotten cold. I think it's time for me to leave. What? You're leaving? I should leave too then. No. I'll be going alone, thank you. It's abrupt, yes, and I'm grievously sorry to do this, but I really must be going. I believe I'm long overdue to return home. Stop! What have you done? I don't know who... What happened to my name? I can't. Dr. Jappers quickly exits the house. Rabbit Man whimpers and looks at its hands as he leaves. It does taste rather tart. After the encounter, Dr. Jappers successfully returned to Site 08, but was later reported missing. Investigations into his disappearance and current whereabouts have been inconclusive. However, the Foundation found some white fur on his expedition gear. Alright, I know you're now confused and lost, so let me explain it to you. Remember in the beginning, we listed a few rules to follow when someone enters SCP-4000? Well, we emphasized the fact that you can never call anything by a consistent name or answer to a consistent name. But unfortunately, Dr. Jappers referred to himself as a fellow scholar and accepted when the rabbit also referred to him as a fellow scholar, one too many times. After the strong breeze moved through the house, their identities had been swapped. The human who should really be Dr. Jappers is now the Rabbit Man, while the one who later gets up and leaves to come back to our world was previously the Rabbit Man. It's been proven that SCP-4000 is stealing names from people. But who are they really? Why are they trying to steal names? And how did SCP-4000 appear to this world? We will explain all of this in Part 2. Remember to check out my new animation channel, The Rubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions. Just click on the link in the description to enter the Rubber's world. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.